Great to be back here at TTF 2023. I just made this short journey from Ekamai, but you came all the way from Singapore. How was the journey?
It's so good to see travel back. It was so nice to be at an airport. It was seamless. The flight was on time. Landed in Bangkok. It was a seamless exit through the airport. Great trip to the hotel. No traffic, which I was expecting. None at all. And most of all, it was just great to see the staff again at the airport, at the hotel, and the big, beautiful smiles that you receive when you come to Thailand. I really miss that.
Yeah, it's definitely great to be back in person and traveling again.
Yes.
So anyway, let's get to the topic that we're here to discuss and jump straight into it. And why don't you tell us a bit about where do we stand today in terms of hotel technology and distribution?
All right, let's start with the hotel technology. I think we're in a much better position with hotel technology now than we've ever been. And I always like to see the positive side of things, and the positive side of the pandemic was the ability to accelerate a lot of technology solutions. What we know is in 2022 we really uncovered a lot of unexpected friction points in travel and customer expectations. They're very much more used to technology in a digital world. So what we saw from that is how do we solve for some of those friction points? What we knew is from our survey that the customers wanted travel to be easier, to be more seamless, a bit like my experience yesterday. Make it easy, make it seamless. And we can't necessarily control the journey of the travel, but we can control the stay. So what can we do to make travel experiences and stay much more seamless? Then what we started to see from our customers is they really just wanted purposeful and logical solutions. So how do you really fix just some of those basic pain points to start with when you're thinking about the technology? So we went back to basics, and at Hilton we really looked at where can we accelerate certain technology solutions and where do we have that really mix, because we know our customers also want the physical hospitality. We are in the business of hospitality. We still want to have that person to person, but the right mix of digital coming in. So how do you have the right phygital experience?
Great term, phygital. I feel like that's going to be a big buzzword this year.
Phygital. So how do you have the physical elements plus the digital elements coming in? So we launched some solutions like digital key. How do you bypass check-in if you wish, if the customer chooses to, and go straight to your room and use your mobile phone and that device? How do you just, in the basics of travel, with one of the biggest groups of segments returning after the pandemic was families, the ability to reconnect with your friends and family, but no hotel company was solving for the basics of connecting rooms. How do you just confirm those at time of booking? So we looked at how do we solve for that, but also how does that present an opportunity to merchandise that as well?
Right.
And then I think there's the aspects of surprise and delight. So, you know, like I said, we can't control the journey of how a guest arrives to our hotels, but we can certainly surprise and delight them before they come. And that's a mix of technology and looking at confirmed upgrades. Again, prior to the guest arrival, not at time of booking. 2-3 days prior to arrival, how do you offer that upgrade and merchandise that? For our most loyal guests, our Hilton Honors guests, it was the ability to delight them to offer the confirmed upgrade. So when they know they arrived at the hotel, that they're already received their upgrade. So already in the state of mind of being happier.
Right.
I think if you look at hotel distribution, it's a very diversified landscape at the moment, and it continues to evolve, and over the pandemic that continued to evolve. You know, you saw the resurgence of OTAs coming back quite fast, quite aggressive, and that was because people wanted their piece of the business. And I think for us at hotels, it's really about having that diversified strategy, but focusing on localized solutions, focusing on our source markets that are important and how we continue to work with partners in those source markets. I'd say, you know, there's a lot of talk on China at the moment, with 8 days ago, borders opening. We have partnerships with Fliggy, Seatrip on their storefronts. It's not your traditional OTA models anymore. But then you still have traditional OTA models with Booking.com or Agoda, and then you have the clear partnerships with American Express, for example. So it's really about having that diversified strategy and being present where our customers are.
Right. Okay, so moving a bit back to the technology, how would you see within Hilton, like how does the technology today, how is it going to enhance the customer journey over the next 2 to 3 years? How are you going to really enhance those magic moments and the surprises? You know, ultimately, I guess, get back to hospitality.
Yeah, a great question. I love that. Get back to hospitality. I'm fortunate enough to work at Hilton, where over 100 years ago, Conrad Hilton had a purpose, and his purpose was to fill the earth with the light and warmth of hospitality. And that's still our purpose today. So it's still the focus is on how do we deliver hospitality to our customers, and how do you have technology to enable that, to deliver that. And I think as you think about that phygital experience, it comes down to the next 2 to 3 years is about personalisation. So you remain with the mix of digital, you have to have that physical interaction, but the digital solutions and the technology solutions have to enable those and to enable that personalisation. And that's about learning more about our customers. What do our customers want? And putting choice and control back into our customers' hands. And that, you know, we're looking at things like attribute-based pricing. How do you get more personalised in your pricing approach? How do you learn more about our customers through their Honours app? How do you really anticipate those customers' needs? You know, you go and stay at a hotel, you receive a bottle of wine in your room. Wouldn't it be nice to receive the bottle of wine that's your favourite bottle of wine that you had at another hotel?
That would be nice.
And learning more to bring that personalisation to life, I think, is really the journey that we have ahead of us in the next 2 to 3 years.
Right. Great. So, I mean, staying on the sort of customer control element, but bringing in the revenue management side of things, how is technology playing an even more significant role to drive room and non-room revenue, but still keeping that element of customer being in charge and the personalization so they don't feel like it's taken away? What are the tools available and how is it helping the returns on invested capital?
Yeah, great question, and lots of questions in a question. Let me start with revenue management, because I love to talk about revenue management. You know, technology has come a long way in revenue management, and again, through the pandemic, you know, pre-pandemic, we would have focused a lot in the rearview mirror, right? What has happened previously? What are those trends? What's that going to tell for our future? And there's really a lot of less emphasis now on the rearview mirror, and that's where great revenue management comes into it, and great systems and partnerships and technology. Over the course of the pandemic, we invested heavily in our revenue management systems to have automated market-based pricing to ensure that we are constantly ahead, but to really make sure our systems were designed with forward-looking data. So what are we doing to think about the market and customer needs that can come down to our pricing decisions or our revenue management decisions? But that also allowed our team members to move away from your traditional revenue data crunches into much more strategic team members. You know, how do we make them be fast and agile in their decision making? We're moving very, very fast now in a post-pandemic environment. Our technology has to enable our team members to not sit there trying to compute data, but to make the decision, to get the new strategy out there. And then I think there is just opportunities with regards to, like I mentioned earlier, you think about confirmed connecting rooms. When we launched that, we threw it out there. What we realized is that the guests liked it. They had a propensity to buy it. They wanted to buy it. So that enabled us to merchandise that. We were able to merchandise that out to our customers, which results in better profits and better rates for our owners. And that's where you're looking at those opportunities between what you're delivering, what you're uncovering to solve for some of those friction points, and the ability to merchandise those for our customers.
Right, and you mentioned the digital key as well. Is that available across the board at Hilton products, or? Not
every hotel just yet. We are operating in about 184 hotels right now. Well, sorry, more hotels. But we are accelerating our launch of digital key, and what we've seen is that's a primary customers like it, right? They like the ability to have that choice and control, and again, to bypass reception if they wish. Right. Do more with your mobile phone, do more with your Hilton Honours app.
Right, and we all love our mobile phones.
That's exactly right.
I mean, just one last question, what do you see as the big benefit for all the stakeholders, the customers, the investors, the hotel owners?
What do I see?
with technology, regards to how it's the digital generation we're moving into?
Yeah, look, like I go back to that digital generation we're moving into. I think we cannot forget that we're in the business of hospitality. We are a people serving people business. But how do we have digital solutions and technology to enable that? But to enable our team members to not be stuck behind computers or reception desks, get them out and to deliver that true hospitality, I think is what's crucial. And then really getting personal with our guests. Customers expect more. And how do we continue to deliver more for them?
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Liz.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, Emma.